Hi, I'm Paul Gross. I'm an extension educator in Central Michigan on the cover crop teams. And I'm going to talk a little bit today about termination of cover crops. We're standing in here, which was a pretty nice rye cover crop that was actually flown into this cornfield last August, just about the time leaf drop in soybeans. They flew on rye, and this is really a nice stand that they have. And you know, when we talk about cover crops and we talk about termination, you know, we kind of have to have termination as part of the planning process. When we select the species, what species would we select that we can terminate? Now, there's a couple ways that we talk about terminating. We can the easiest one is to have it terminated by winter kill, and by selecting some species annual that will winter kill. That takes care of the termination problem in the spring if we have the right kind of winter. Then we can also do it mechanically with tillage. Now, in this situation, this particular farmer is going to no-till into this. So they're going to plant no-till soybeans into this corn stalk. So he's contemplating whether you can plant green or not plant green. But the other opportunity is herbicides. And when we start thinking about herbicides to terminate these cover crops, I think we have to be really careful and think about, you know, the growth stage of the plant, what species of plants are out here. We have to think about which herbicides we're going to select. We have to really be consideration of the weather, what type of weather it is. We need to think about the adjuvants that we're going to put in. We need to think about a number of different things when we're considering terminating these cover crops with herbicides. The other thing you want to think about is your crop rotations. Do you want to select one that's going to restrict maybe what you want to plant after this crop? You know, do you want some residual in? The other thing, but I love these cover crops, especially this rye that we're standing in, because it really does a nice job of suppressing any of those, suppressing all weeds, but some of those weeds that may be herbicide resistant. So if you have herbicide resistant weeds in there and you're going to soybeans, you know, maybe you need something more than just a glyphosate product in that tank mix. So look at what combination that you might want to put out, because you need to control, if you have herbicide resistant weeds in your cover crops, if you have some start to peek through, you'll need to put some type of product on that will control those herbicide resistant weeds and put that in your mix. So there's a lot of things to consider when you think about terminating cover crops. But I think the important thing is that to start with the ends in mind. Have a plan in place when you start selecting your cover crops. Have a plan in place on how you're going to terminate it. Whether it be if you want it to winter kill, which is relatively simple. Tillage is an easy way to do it. But the herbicide part gets to be a little more complex. In keeping in mind the stage of growth. Now this particular rye here it's approximately 10 inches tall, and you know it's about at the right stage that I would consider to kill it. It's actively growing. You know, that's another point that you want to remember, is make sure that crop is actively growing when you apply the herbicide. Also, make sure it doesn't get too mature, because as those plants start to flower, it's really, you know, very difficult to control with herbicides. Another tool that you can consider, each state has a weed control book, has a lot of resources in on which herbicides and herbicide combinations can kill which species. It has those rotational restrictions in that you might want to consider, so you can follow the rotation. So some type of herbicide pre-emergence you put down may interfere with the crop you want to plant next. The other thing is MSU Extension, Dr. Christy Sprague and Dr. Aaron Burns just come out with a termination bulletin, April 2021. It's got the latest information on terminating cover crops. It's a real good resource. Get a hold of it. It's a downloadable file. But that's just kind of goes over some high points of terminating cover crops. Just make sure you get them terminated so that cover crop gives you benefits and doesn't interfere with your primary crop.